Minnesota Vikings have been around since 1961. And I just want them to win a damn Super Bowl before I die. Welcome to Before I Die with Jessi and Myles on Purple Daily and Score North.
Just one, you guys. We just want one before we die. The Minnesota Vikings. I'm Jessi Pierce. He's Myles Gorham. Ross Brendel over to my right, I think, right? Because it switches when we're on the thing. I always, pointing left, right.
I'm always at one of your sides, Jessi. Don't you ever forget that.
You know what? I appreciate you. Always.
I don't have your back, but I'm at your side.
That's how a good partnership works. Minnesota Vikings seem to have a good partnership team, kind of, sort of. All right, we're going to start with the good. 9-2. The Minnesota Vikings are 9-2, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. They get a victory on Sunday. A very narrow victory, guys. A 30-27 overtime victory. That they probably should have lost that game. That was not. They stole that game a little bit.
Or they should have won by 2 scores.
You know what? Yeah, let's go there. Let's go. I was just going to try with the optimism here because, again, Minnesota Vikings 9-2. I never would have believed that the Minnesota Vikings would be 9-2 with Sam Darnold at the QB helm, but here we are. So we love it. We love it. Yay. Go Vikings. However, the game yesterday against a very bad Bears team. Myles, please, the floor is yours.
So let me start by saying I don't think the Bears are that bad. I think they've lost a few games. Look at their schedule. Look at their record real quick. They're 4-7 now.
I will not do that.
You flip that. They literally lost 3 games by basically like fluky plays. A Hail Mary. They lost the other day by a blocked kick, and then they lost yesterday after coming back down 11 with less than 2 minutes to go and no timeouts and tied the game up, and then lost in overtime. So I'm not like I thought they played pretty well yesterday. Like the Vikings should have won, and they should have won by at least a touchdown probably. Again, like I said, they were up 2 scores with less than 2 minutes to go, with the Bears having no timeouts, and still let them back in the game to tie it and go to overtime. So that's the negative for me, right? It's like, you've got to be kidding me. Johnny Munt, lift your foot up. Like, what are you doing? On the onside kick, right? Of course that happens. But the positive, like the Vikings played well. I thought overall, like the game they played well. Like Sam Darnold slinging that thing yesterday. He looked so comfortable. He looked like he was seeing things so well. You know, it was like arguably his best game in Minnesota. It didn't start off that hot. Like, I don't think the offense looked that great to start. Well, not to start, besides the Aaron Jones fumble. Like, they didn't really do much in that, like, end of the first quarter, early second. But then they kind of found their stride. When they found their stride, Sam Darnold was slinging that thing and making a lot of big plays on third downs. Jordan Addison looked great. T.J. Hawkinson in the second half in overtime. Welcome back, my friend. Like, those types of things. So the offense was rolling. I thought the offense and the run game finally got going, except for they suck in short yardage still. Like, that's a problem. Like, I think I tweeted this yesterday. Like, Aaron Jones shouldn't have fumbled, and the short yardage run game is awful. Like, like both things are true. So I think there's that, but I think overall the offense looked really good. The defense, outside of letting Caleb Williams just look like the first overall pick and a guy that was like balling, They held the run game. They did really well against the run, which is one area we had concerned about early in the season. The last couple weeks, they've sacked up a couple good games against teams against the run, but they've struggled against the pass a little bit more, and you're seeing that, and you saw that yesterday, which was a big hiccup. But overall, I think they played well, besides not being able to contain Caleb Williams, who, again, just looked really good.
First, before Ross, I know you've got something to
say. Oh, you go right ahead, yeah.
But did you guys hear the stray that Sam Darnold actually caught from Caleb Williams in the post-game presser?
Yes, I did.
Not.
I don't know if it was intentional. I don't know if it was intentional, but I did hear it.
It was
Please
something
share.
about he was surprised that Kevin O'Connell has Sam playing as well as he is, or something like that.
He's even having Sam Darnold playing well as he is. I think he said something like that. And the word even. He's even having. Yeah, I heard that too. I don't know if he was intentional, but I heard that too. Because they both went to USC. So you got to think that there's got to be some, like, they're maybe cool with each other. But
there's some friendly. Yeah, I don't think it was anything super offensive by any stretch, but it was just kind of funny. Like, I'm sure there's some little, it might have been a little intentional jab, or it could have been just a slip of the tongue. All right, Ross,
it was funny.
Apologies.
No, go. It's your show. I'm the one that hopped in, Jessi. One of the positives, Myles kind of touched on it. It's not that Sam Darnold went 22 for 34, 340 yards and 2 TDs. To me, it's largely how he did it. The pocket wasn't always clean. He was under some pressure. A lot of those throws, and I think you guys probably saw exactly what I saw, those aren't always your first progression. You could actually see him scanning and looking around, I think, more so than we're used to. So that was nice to see. Offensively, the late game stuff, to me, I think you're right. Like, that would have been an awful game to lose. You can easily justify the Vikings won that game more comfortably than the score shows. But also, that's not what happened. You have to finish things off. Harrison Smith missed a big tackle at the end late, or a sack of Caleb Williams. Thought Harrison Smith actually had a really nice day. That was just a fleeting bad moment for him. Caleb Williams, by the way, guys, again, I think you probably saw what I saw and have seen most of this all year. I think he's going to be pretty darn good. I think he just needs a bit more time. The weapons around him are pretty good, but I think he could always use more. Some of those throws yesterday being chased, how do you defend some of those? Some of those, it's just, okay, you tip your cap, you go back to the huddle, you come up with the next play. Because some of those plays, especially on the first drive, not a lot you can do about those other than to contain him and keep him in the pocket. But again, guys, 9-2.
9-2.
Who's really that bitter? Except for Myles. Myles is probably just ho-hum because he predicted it. He basically said the Vikings would go 15-2 and you guys would all look stupid. That's kind of what he told us at the beginning of the year.
Exactly.
Oh, yep.
I wonder, do we just need to accept this is the Vikings MO? This is what they're going to do to us. They're going to make it tough. I mean, there's a grittiness to the game, right? They still come out on top. They still get that victory. Maybe we just need to acknowledge and accept that, hey, we're going to be stressed every single Sunday night, and we're going to be stressed every single Sunday in general watching this Minnesota Vikings team, but they're probably going to find a way to win.
Yeah, this is like 2022 all over again, but I think this is a better football team than 2022 was, so it seems a little bit more sustainable.
You know who we need to talk about? We need to talk about Jordan Addison. Not just because he's on my fantasy football team and just crushing opponents with points, but Jordan Addison, guys, is he officially freed? Remember, we're free in 3. I think he is officially freed, 100-plus yards and a touchdown, 8 of 9 targets for 162. Hey, buddy. You say Skol Vikings?
I asked him earlier off air, Jessi, how he thought the Vikings game was yesterday, and he just said good. And I said, yeah, I think that pretty much sums up the performance.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then we move on. Yep, exactly.
Good.
Like, I'm going to go watch Paw Patrol now instead. So that's how that works out.
I think Jordan has been freed, if that's the question. And I would say this, I don't think there was ever any intention at the beginning of the year not to get him the ball. We've talked about this before. I just think there's only so many footballs to go around him. And let's be honest, teams the last couple weeks, teams love to double team Justin Jefferson. Sometimes double team and still put a shadow on him, right? So what'd you call that, a 2.5 team? Teams are doing a better job of that the last few weeks. So that's going to open up Jordan Addison. Yep. And as long as Justin Jefferson is happy, and I believe that he is because he's still putting up some numbers and the Vikings are winning, I think that's all that really matters here. But I would say that Jordan Addison is always going to get his, but sometimes it's going to come more in bunches because if Justin Jefferson is open, that's where the ball is going. And I think whether it's a conversation from a veteran, maybe it's a coaching conversation, I think that that's just something he needs to understand. He is going to get his. There just may be gaps where he is not, but it's going to come in bunches and he's going to put up good numbers. It's just you're probably not going to get 10 catches for 110 yards and a touchdown every Sunday when, let's call it like it is, you are the number 2 option. When you and Justin Jefferson are on the field, they're almost always going to be looking for Justin Jefferson unless the play is specifically designed for Jordan Addison. But yes, he has been freed. He's putting up touchdowns.
I was going to say, and I don't want to say concern, that's the wrong word. I'm going to find a synonym sometime in this rambling. There has been blanket coverage on Justin Jefferson. We all know that. That's not a surprise. I think every team knows that he's the go-to guy. Is there a way that Kevin O'Connell and the offense needs to find some sort of scheme that works to get Justin Jefferson a little bit more open? Is there any concern there that they haven't quite figured that out? Or are we okay with the way it goes and just kind of accepting it? Because as you mentioned, Jordan Addison, clearly very capable, and he's showing his prowess of his own. What do you boys think? Is there any, again, concern is too strong. I'm not concerned. It's something that's going to happen. But you know what I'm saying? Like, is there something different that needs to be done in order to continue to work the ball to JJ?
No, Jets. Remember, we got to say Jets.
Yeah,
now.
sorry, Jets. Maybe I'll just call him Justin.
There you go.
Just try something new.
To answer your question, I think yesterday was one of those scenarios. It's either Justin Jefferson eating or everybody else gets to eat. It's one of those scenarios because like teams focus so much on him. Like if you're a defense, your game plan going into the week is stop Justin Jefferson. He's the best receiver in the game. He's the guy you focus on. If you're gonna lose, I'd rather lose because everybody else is winning. Make everybody else beat us is essentially what the game plan is. But what has happened is we played one of the best corners in the game yesterday in Jalen Johnson, so I think that's a big impact there. Plus, so you double him with like Jalen Johnson and a safety or someone else doubling him. That's a big part of it because Jalen Johnson's so good that helps when you double. It's harder for Justin to get open. Now, on the flip side, TJ Hawkinson's back and he looks healthy. And I think that in itself opens up so much more for Addison on the other side too, because when Hawkinson was out, it's like, okay, well, we're just going to focus on the two outside receivers. And if Josh Oliver or Johnny Munt beat us, like we're doing our jobs. That's essentially how I'd look at it. But with TJ Hawkinson back and healthy, you can't let him just beat you either. Like, and we saw that yesterday in the big time moments in the second half and overtime that like both of those two were able to get one-on-one attention because Jefferson was getting so much of the double teams and things. So those guys were seeing single coverage and winning against lesser talent. And so I'm excited to see that moving forward because teams are going to learn you can't just focus only on Justin Jefferson because you have you have multiple guys that can beat you, and they're not just like okay players, they're like above average, really good players. And I think that's a big part of it.
I think if Sam Darnold throws for 340 yards and only 27 of them go to Justin Jefferson, but you win, I think everybody's happy. I think that starts to become an issue if Justin Jefferson is getting 27 yards, but Sam Darnold only throws for 170. I think that's where maybe it becomes more of an issue. Right now, I don't see it as much of an issue. He is still having really nice games. He's had a few where it's just a couple catches here and there, but by and large, they're winning those games. I think the only thing that I would say, and maybe this just isn't something that Kevin O'Connell has any interest in, and it might not be anything that Justin Jefferson or his skill set is interested in, but I also believe he's a guy he can pretty much do whatever. I actually thought yesterday when he wasn't so involved, maybe they would run some sort of jet sweep to him or maybe do a wide receiver screen or two. Or heck, I mean, you see the 49ers do it with Deebo Samuel. They line him up in the backfield every now and then to try and get him some extra looks. I suppose those could be some things that the Vikings try. But again, if you're throwing for 300 plus yards and you're winning, I don't think it matters much. I think it starts to matter more if the offense gets stagnant. And to their credit, they were okay on the road, except for the Jacksonville game. And again, guys, they won 3 in a row on the road. I don't think it matters who they are. To be away from home for a month and win every game, I think if you rewind this 3-4 weeks, I think I thought, go 2-3. Well, you got all 3. That's good stuff.
Maybe the concern is just from somebody who maybe has Justin Jefferson on her fantasy football team and maybe went against Saquon Barkley yesterday. I don't know if maybe that's where my concern lies. Okay.
Obligatory fantasy football mention.
I hadn't fired that in a few weeks.
Tough.
Oh, the fumble at the 1. That's always a killer for a fantasy back.
I was screaming at my TV, like, can I get Aaron Jones at like 1 touchdown? So he finally got one yesterday, right? So like that's great. But he should have had 2. He like, it's like,
Let's talk about Aaron Jones. He said he's feeling better from that rib injury, but the fumbles are more consistent though. I mean, that's 2 weeks where it's kind of like, oof, that's very uncharacteristic. Do you think that's a result of the injury and that's just going to improve, or what do we think about Aaron Jones? Because love him there. Love him as the Minnesota Vikings running back. But yeah, curious what your guys' thoughts are on Aaron Jones.
I'm not as concerned. I think the one yesterday was more of a fluke. I think Jonathan Owens just made a great play with his goat of a wife in the stands, just with Simone Biles in the stands. Like I think he just made a really great play. And I don't really put that on like a typical Aaron Jones situation. Last week, that one is a little bit more like, okay, Aaron, like that one you got to like be better there with the catch, the not catching the sweep, the toss, I should say, from Sam Darnold. Got to be a little bit better there. But I can guarantee you that's going to be more of an emphasis for an Aaron Jones moving forward. You could see him visibly upset on the sidelines after that fumble. Yeah. And I'm one of those people, I internalize hard. I'm so hard on myself. That's why I played baseball through high school too. And baseball was harder. I was harder on myself than any other sport because it's so much an internalized sport because you have to do so much more for yourself and for that like impacts the team. Aaron Jones yesterday, you could tell that internalization really hit him. But I'm glad he's able to bounce back and kind of still have a pretty big game, averaged almost 5 yards a carry, had a touchdown over 100 yards. So nice to see him bounce back from that. And Kevin O'Connell knows how important he is to this offense. So, I wouldn't consider it something to worry about, but something to like just keep an eye on if for some reason it does keep happening.
Did you guys catch the note that they popped up in the second half that the Vikings had gone, 26 or 27 games without a second half rushing touchdown? And the record was held. I knew this team existed, but I had not seen the name in literally probably a decade. The record was held by something called the Dayton Triangles.
I did see.
Who
is that? What is that?
That is an old team that I think was done playing in the 30s or 40s.
Okay.
So it is.
Gotta love having those kind of records.
Incredible.
That is an insanely old record. I could look that up. But anytime you can get a Dayton Triangles reference in an NFL football game is a good day.
At least it happened.
I had not seen that name pop up in forever, so it made me chuckle when I saw that.
I need the merch. Where am I getting this merch?
Right?
Yeah.
What type of triangle is it, too? Is it like an isosceles triangle?
Isosceles,
is it a normal triangle?
It's got to be.
Is it the food pyramid triangle? What type of triangle is it?
I've complained about a lot of team names, but I need to know how you come up, how that's the best you got, right? Like, this is the best we got. We're the triangles. Like, let's go triangles.
Was it the music triangle? Were they dinging the bell, the triangle, every time they scored a touchdown? Looks like Myles has it in front of him.
I just looked at quick Googled it and Jesus. It looks like an equilateral triangle, right? Is that all equal sides, right?
Yep.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Here we go, guys. I got it. For those
you
of
get
you.
it? Yes. It's
What year were they done?
Let's find the Wikipedia page here.
Yeah.
All right.
This is great podcasting and YouTube content right here.
Right?
This is Isosceles Triangle Daily.
The page that I found is not in English. I'm not quite sure.
Translate it. Translate it. Don't
I
you
should,
speak 6
right?
languages?
Enough of
Okay,
that.
so here's a little bit. We just have now we're down the rabbit hole. We're proud of the Vikings. The Vikings are 9-2.
International Falls. What language do they speak in International Falls? It's got to be something different.
They're very Scandinavian up there, very Norwegian. Been learning Russian lately.
There you go. Oh God.
Yeah. The text only because of Kirill Kaprizov. I don't need anybody to take that into another realm. There's a Russian player on the Wild that's very good. The origins. The original Dayton Triangles first began playing together as basketball players at St. Mary's College, now the University of Dayton, from 1908 to 1912. The decline came in 1922 because they were not recruiting or signing top players. So, fun fact.
Is that the right Dayton Triangles? Because this was a NFL or AFL team.
I think
at some point.
Maybe not. Maybe you're right. Maybe not.
Well,
but this is the one I went with.
Regardless.
Yeah, no, they were part of
Vikings.
the American Professional Football Association.
Okay.
My only thing there, Ross, was to follow up is I think they posted that right when the Vikings were in the red zone.
Yes.
And I was
then they broke the record. Or not broke it. They finally got it.
But Aaron Jones got stuffed on the first run, and you're like, you've got to be kidding me. Can they figure it out? And then like you said, the very next play they got it. But I literally stood up and screamed finally, because it just felt like one of those releases. You're finally you're able to get a rushing touchdown.
I just hope there's one person watching on YouTube or listening via podcast that has some connection to the Dayton Triangles and can give us all the information we have ever needed and more.
You know who might have a connection to the Dayton Triangles? Watch this. Watch me weave my magic here. So there are triangles on roads, right? And sometimes if you don't obey the triangles on the roads, you'll find yourself injured. But who do you call when you're finding yourself in an automobile accident and find injury?
Myles, do you want to grade this one?
I mean, it's a C. The idea was there. The idea was there. The execution wasn't there.
I wasn't confident in it. I didn't deliver it with the confidence.
It was like the 2022 Vikings draft. I thought the idea and the process was good. Execution was bad.
That's fair.
You know,
I can accept that. That's fair criticism. I'll take that. Write that down in my notes. Be back better next week.
You
probably
did, Jessi, however, almost mix in saying planes, trains, and automobiles, which, by the way, happy planes, trains, and automobiles season. A perfect movie for Wednesday night as you celebrate your Thanksgiving holiday here in the good old U.S. of A. Thank you, Nicolay Law, the exclusive personal injury law firm of Purple Daily. That is Nicolay Law. Thank you for their support of Score North and Purple Daily. Nicolay Law knows that when you or a loved one gets injured, guess what? Ordinary life can slow down. Nobody wants that. That's where the folks at Nicolay Law come in. They're your normal, everyday folks. You're going to see them out and about doing last-minute Thanksgiving prep at the grocery store with you, getting everything you need for the table, getting all those fixins. They'll be out there with you in the trenches as well. Normal, everyday folks who are here to make sure that you get the compensation you deserve when it matters the most after an accident. If you've been injured, get Minnesota's local award-winning injury lawyers. Get Nicolay. How do you do that? Very easy. You can go to nicolaylaw.com. That's nicolaylaw.com. Or go to 855-NICOLAY, or call, 855-NICOLAY. That is NICOLET, 855-NICOLAY.
Comments from YouTube.
All right, kids, I lined up a few for you and then one exclusively from me, both from yesterday's event line. Comment number 1 comes from Giffy11, who says the one positive I will take from this is that we just went undefeated on a road streak. No matter how bad the teams, that is hard to do. And I agree with that. My question for you two, and Jessi, I'll let you go first. Are you more impressed with the Vikings 5-0 start or how they've rebounded now to win 4 in a row after 2 losses in a row? More impressed with the 5-0 start or the recent 4-game winning streak?
I'm more impressed still by the 5-0 start because of the level of competition they went against. However, I am more excited about the fact that they're continuing to win games in the 4-game winning streak, right? Does that make sense? There's a difference.
What a political answer.
Thank you.
What a political answer. Well done. I'll make a governor out of you one day.
Right? Well, and only because, again, they don't ask how, they just ask how many. You'll always go back to that, and you need to end up with victories. It can be an ugly, ugly win. It's still a win, and I think you have to take that. So as much as we might criticize and find holes and gaps and problems, they're still winning, and I like that. So it was impressive to see them start off 5-0 because I didn't think they would win nearly that many games, right? Like here we are at 9-2, but I am more pleasantly surprised and happy with the winning streak.
Myles?
Yeah, I'm obviously happy with it. I think the one thing I wouldn't have predicted is through 11 games, the Vikings were going to guarantee themselves to be above 500.
Yeah.
Within the first 11 games of the season.
Yeah.
That to me in itself was like, if you had predicted they're going to be above 500, cool. But you probably expected them to teeter in that 500 range most of the season and maybe win a couple of games at the end or something like that. But to be 9-2 is really impressive. And I think to some points, it's like, it doesn't always matter how you win. It's just like you still found a way to win. Mm-hmm. Now, some of that might catch up to you later. We saw that in 2022 where some of that caught up to them at the worst moments. Hopefully that doesn't happen this year, but I think there are things to build off of. Hopefully they can just continue to stay healthy. Hopefully Cam Robinson's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm really happy with the fact that they could go on the road and win and have that win streak like that.
Jessi, I don't know about you, but I can't wait for the Vikings to win at least 2 more games so we can also tell Myles that he was wrong. He loves to subtly put in those jabs about you and I not thinking.
Nobody saw this coming. Myles is just delusional. He was drunk that morning. I don't know what that was.
And I think we can pull the tape. I think I said 10-7 if everything goes well. Maybe
I will
said
admit I was nowhere near.
Remember.
I said 8 wins. I said
kidding.
I even said 7, right? You think you're just kidding. You're being facetious.
I'm just getting tired of these Myles passive-aggressive Minnesotan jabs, drive-bys, and answers.
It's true.
Comment number 2, and I'll start with Myles. It goes, first off, I love the name, Grateful Dad. Maybe a play on Grateful Dead. I don't know. Grateful Dad 54. Vikings will go down in history as the worst 9-2 NFL team. They ain't going anywhere in the playoffs. If they get that far.
That would be the most epic collapse ever.
Wouldn't it be? That might be the question there. Percent chance they don't make the playoffs. I should look it up, but I think they're up to 90+%.
Never say never, boys. Never say never.
It is Minnesota. We've been here before.
The Rams losing yesterday actually helped, though.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. It did. Percent chance the worst 9-2 NFL team wins a playoff game. Myles, I'll start with you.
You said the percentage they win a playoff game?
Yeah, percentage they just win a playoff game. Likely a road playoff game.
50-50. Like we talked about was it last week or the week before? Like, because the Lions are so good, they're probably going to be a wild card team. So like you said, probably on the road, have to go to, I don't know who at this point, maybe the Eagles or something like that. But yeah, I would say 50-50 right now because we just don't know enough information to say like where they're going to be at in 7 weeks, 8 weeks when the playoffs hit. But I think they're in a position to yeah, I wouldn't be surprising if they win a playoff game. Wouldn't be surprising if they lost a playoff game in the wild card weekend. So I'm 50-50 right now.
62%.
What do you got, Jessi?
62
52.
62. 62.5%.
Wow.
Yeah.
And she's saying this knowing they're likely the road team.
Yeah. Why not?
She's also saying this knowing she started this season being like, we're not even going to be there. So she's heel turn.
Yeah.
The heel turn. She's like, I'm all in now. Super Bowl, baby.
My, it's kind of not quite bandwagon, yeah, obviously, but my kid yesterday, the 5-year-old, he was watching and the Bears were up at the time. He's like, well, I'm cheering for the Bears. And we're like, all right, way to be a bandwagon fan. And then we told him that the Bears lost and he goes, oh man, we're like, see, being a bandwagon fan isn't the way to go, buddy. Like you can't just jump on other teams. So kind of adorable. He also accused me of eating ice cream this morning for breakfast. And, he's just kind of a hot mess.
Okay, but did you?
No, I didn't. And that's what he said. He's like, well, Avery's getting yelled at for it. So I need to know if you did. He thinks he's a real cop. He's not a cop. He puts on his little badge and he pretends, but he's probably the culprit. He's good at finessing his way into things.
I have no idea where to go with this.
There's nowhere to go with it.
Other than I'm imagining 20 years from now being pulled over by him. It was literally the thought that came into my... Do you know how fast you were going, sir? Question number 3 goes for both of you. This can be anything. Doesn't have to be Vikings related. What are you... From producer Ross, by the way. Producer Ross says, what are Jessi and Myles most thankful for in the world of sports this year? Either one of you can go first.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful for like good sports teams right now. I think you have the Vikings. I can't say the Timberwolves are
don't say the Timberwolves
quote unquote good.
Don't say it.
But they're relevant.
They're relevant,
and that matters.
I think at some point they'll turn it around. I really do. I just think there's too much talent. Anthony Edwards is too good. I think there's too much. I think they'll turn around. I'm just going into the winter here, thankful that we do have the three major sports teams that are quote unquote good, and 2 of them really good. So. That's what I'm thankful for.
Who are your 3 major sports teams? I'm just curious. I just would like to hear you say it.
I apologize.
I don't know if you know this. The Minnesota Wild are number 2 in the National Hockey League. Number 2, playing the number 1 team this evening.
They were. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Vikings, the Wild, and the Timberwolves.
Is that who you were saying?
The 2 above average teams were the Vikings and Wild because the Wild are really good.
I just want to make sure.
I haven't watched a lot of the Wild this season. It's been a couple of years, but I've seen their record. I still get the notifications in their games and stuff like that.
Nice. Good work.
Kirill Kaprizov is still the Russian stallion or whatever you want to call him. I don't know. Mm-hmm. He's balling. Or I should say skating.
Pucking. He's pucking.
He's pucking. Yeah. I like it.
Make sure you get that emphasis correct.
Right.
P. Yeah.
Exactly.
Pucking.
Exactly. It's close. It's close. I'm grateful. Speaking of that, I'm grateful for Kirill Kaprizov. I'm mostly grateful that his knee injury doesn't sound nearly as serious.
Oh, I did see that.
Yeah, so that's good. It's also good that he probably won't play tonight against the Winnipeg Jets, who tend to really hurt him every single time they play. But Kirill, man, God, what a beast! Just Russian in every manner. I picture him in the offseason, out there in the rain, pushing tires and fighting bears. He's just, it's incredible.
Riding a grizzly bear like Putin.
Yes, exactly. He does flip tires. I know that.
That was a bad George W. Bush, Myles. I saw you roll your eyes. Vladimir Putin.
But I'm grateful for him. And then I'm also grateful for women's sports teams in the state of Minnesota who tell us how to win championships.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Win,
Jessi. Yeah. No love for your Iowa State squad? We're back. We're in the mix for the Big 12 title game.
I'm still
We're in the
upset
mix.
with them. I just can't.
We're in the mix.
Their games are almost unwatchable at this point. It's so frustrating to watch.
But doesn't the Iowa State women's basketball team have one of the best players in the country?
They do.
Yeah,
I do not remember her name, so I apologize. But I saw her stat line, and it was crazy.
Yeah. No, they in general, so I think they were ranked 5 too. The men's and the women's heading into the season were both ranked 5 in the nation for basketball. Again, the sports teams were terrible when I was a Cyclone. It's heartbreaking. But yeah, no, Cyclones, their football team. You guys have lost me. At least until you make the playoffs, and then I'll be
until
excited.
they play in the Big 12 title game and win it and make the playoffs, and then you'll be
Oh, she'll
then
be
you'll
back.
be
She'll
back.
come onto the show and all of her Iowa.
Exactly.
Oh, even
the dogs
even
in
Teddy's
too, see?
even Teddy's calling you out, Jessi. One team that is back on 1500 ESPN, St. Thomas men's hockey. They continue their conference play this weekend when they host Lake Superior State on Friday night at 7 p.m., Saturday at 6 p.m. Both games can be heard on 1500 ESPN and 1500ESPN.com. Tickets for either game and all of St. Thomas athletics are at TommySports.com.
But what are you grateful for in sports, Ross?
Oh, the question was for you guys. It doesn't matter what I'm grateful for.
That's
But if you put me on the spot, let me think. I didn't even think about this.
Go for football.
Well, I am grateful because Jessi, you always like to pan me as somebody who doesn't pay attention to hockey. I watch almost every Minnesota Wild game. I live and die on Gopher hockey, and I think I'm thankful that Gopher hockey appears to be good again. And they may lose right away in the NCAA tournament. They may win the national championship, but I am thankful that winter nights, per what Myles said, should be pretty good because the hockey teams appear to be, the Wild, I think, appear to be better than we all thought. Hopefully that holds true. Mm-hmm. And I think we were all hopeful that Gopher hockey would be really good again this year, and they are. And
Tough loss to BSU this weekend, though.
I am.
A little upset.
Gopher hockey?
Yeah.
2 weekends ago.
2 weekends.
2 weekends ago, yeah. That was bad for the pairwise, but we bounced back and beat Notre Dame both games this weekend. So,
Good work.
Truth be told, this time of year, I'm just really thankful for college football. You have the FCS tournament starting here shortly. You have a bunch of meaningless college football games, which I absolutely love and adore for their hilarity. The Pop-Tarts Bowl is only weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear what's happening this year at the Pop-Tarts Bowl?
Yeah.
Mile, this year, the winning...
which they eat.
Yes, the winning team can pick which Pop-Tart to put in the toaster.
So brilliant.
Here's the thing. It is so dumb, but if you embrace the hilarity of the bowl system, it is incredibly cool.
Exactly.
So enjoy it. And now you guys all got your 12-team playoff with 8 teams that shouldn't even be there, so everybody can be happy. Bring back the BCS. I want 1 versus 2. I want 38 bowl games that matter, not some stupid playoff with a bunch of teams that shouldn't be there. You guys ready for Before I Dies?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Time now for the Before I Die crew to give us their Before I Dies.
I'm mixing
I am
it up.
kidding, by the way, though, Jessi, very quickly. I am kidding. The playoff is actually very cool.
I like the playoffs.
I have no real issues with it.
Different. I enjoy trying new things, right? I'm going to throw a curveball at you guys. We're not going to do Before I Dies. We're going to do your hottest Thanksgiving food takes because that's always fun. That always stirs the pot. Yeah. That always starts the conversation. It's easy. So yeah, your hottest take, whether that's something that you don't like I know mine gets people pissed off nearly every year, but I stand by it because I'm a weird person like that, but I will save mine for the end. Ross, why don't you kick us off?
I think this one's easy. I may steal yours. You don't need turkey at your Thanksgiving dinner. It's just turkey's... Here's the thing. No, it's fine. I'll eat it. But if I have to throw gravy on it just to make it taste okay, and don't say it's the person prepping it for me. I have had many people prep turkey for me. And it's all just whatever. It's a bit too gamey for me. Also, the best Thanksgiving pie is banana cream pie. You take your pumpkin pie, whatever, nasty. What's the one where you put all the weird nuts on it? Pecan pie, nasty, disgusting. Apple pie with some ice cream is okay. Cherry banana pie. Cream pie, kids. That's where it's at. Oh, and you got me going now. The cranberries out of the can, the best cranberries. You lop it out.
100%. That's the right take.
That's the
only
best
right
one.
take you had there. That's the only right take you had.
Cranberries out of the can. America unite.
Oh boy. All right. What do you got, Myles?
Okay, bud. Go ahead. Wave to the bus. You're homesick.
Haha, have fun at school, suckers. We've all been there. Well,
I also love that Teddy's like, why aren't you on the bus? That's what he's barking. He's like, Dad, he's supposed to be on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But you can tell that. So that kid's talent, kids ibuprofen has kicked in because my son has a little bit more energy than he had like 20 minutes ago.
Usually is.
But anyways, my hot food Thanksgiving take is I'm with Ross in that like I don't need turkey. So we had family Thanksgiving with my family this weekend. I grilled steak. I don't need turkey. I like ham. I'd prefer ham over turkey, by the way. I don't know if it like stuffing dressing to me is underrated. I love it. Give me some stuffing like dressing with gravy. I don't really have like a hot take though. That's like a green bean casserole is overrated in my opinion. Yeah. I'm just meh about it. Yeah, I don't really have like any true hot takes. I'm just not like a traditionalist. I don't need some of those things. I just want good food. You know what I mean? But I'm a pie person though. So Ross, you're wrong about the pie situation. I do like a banana cream pie, but give me the sweet potato pie. Give me all the sweet potato, pumpkin. Give me all the pecan. Give me all of it. Right? Like
cherry. Why are we? Everyone's dismissing cherry pie. That's literally the only pie.
I feel like apple's the one where I'm like I like apple, but I'm not choosing it over those pies.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if we can be honest, look at me. It's not like I won't eat a pumpkin pie. It's just not my favorite. If I could choose a pie, we're always having what one of my former bosses called the kid pies. We're gonna have French silk. We're gonna have banana cream, maybe even an Oreo pie.
That is a kid pie.
Pumpkin pie is just fine. I just prefer something different.
I only like pumpkin pie if you make it with like you mix the pumpkin with the Cool Whip, and so it's like a little bit creamier. I don't like pumpkin pie. Just Cool Whip. Cool Whip, exactly.
What is Baker Square had it, now Perkins has it too, where it's like pumpkin supreme, where it's like this much.
Still around? I've not been to Perkins in a while. The last time I was there was bad.
The pumpkin supreme,
unless they're a sponsor, then I love them.
Then love them. They're the best.
Before I Die is brought to you by Perkins. Get your holiday pies at Perkins.com.
They do have legit pies though. That is true. That's a fact. That's a fact.
The pumpkin supreme has like this much pumpkin and then like this much whipped cream on top.
Yeah, that's a better. No, I'm a cherry pie.
Jessi, what's your controversial take?
Are you ready? I like turkey, first of all, and I actually prefer like the dark meat even over the white meat. I enjoy a good turkey. I don't think it matters like how you prepare it either. Turkey, you can just do it. That's not my hot take. Okay.
That's a hot take right there. How you prepare turkey matters.
It doesn't. No, because nobody really likes turkey, as you guys just pointed out. Like, nobody actually truly really loves turkey.
Yeah, but if I'm going to eat it, give me, like, the deep fried or, like, something that's injected with all the, like, juices and stuff.
I mean, I make a damn good turkey, don't get me wrong.
People who risk their lives and their house to put the turkey in the deep fryer that there's a 30% chance it's going to start your house on fire, that's a turkey I will eat.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. Thanksgiving's actually like my least favorite holiday of all the holidays because I have this like it's a condition. I don't think I've ever been diagnosed. I hate my food touching. And so Thanksgiving is a nightmare for me, right? Made even worse with the addition of gravy, which is why you guys, I don't put gravy on my mashed potatoes. There's no gravy on my plate. I would skip gravy altogether. I only put it out there because I know everybody else has this passion for it. No gravy for me. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it feels better.
That's okay. I'm fine with that. My hot take is I think mashed potatoes are overrated. I'm
not
a mashed potato person.
All right. You haven't had my mashed potatoes. They're good.
Fine. My mother-in-law makes it like my mother-in-law does too. Like she's like the like mashed potato queen, right? But like it's good. I'm just not like it's fine. I'm not like out of all of the options though, I'm probably leaving it off my plate.
No. Wrong. Just
instant mashed potatoes far better than homemade mashed potatoes. That's what I will say. Boil.
That's wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
See, I even use the hand one too. So the
masher.
The masher. I love it. It's so good.
I make a mean sweet potato casserole, by the way.
See, I don't actually think I've ever had sweet potato casserole.
God, you're just
Jessi. I don't think your hot take is all that controversial. I look at Thanksgiving and I go, it's more of just it's the one day we actually there's a few where we actually tell people, go hang out with your family. So I think that part's kind of cool. The food is whatever it is, whatever.
I think it's a football day. It's the one day that Sundays can get pushed to do other things. On Thanksgiving, you're not allowed to do other things except watch football play football.
It is Cooper DeRush and whatever his name is, Danny DeVito Day. Cooper DeRush, as I call him. I think I just combined him with Jason DeRusha. Cooper Cooper Rush versus Danny DeVito on Thursday, or whatever his name is.
I love it. See, there you go. Well, that is all to say. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Let us know your hot takes on food, Vikings, whatever you may have.
Oh, hang on. Let me stand up. I'm cutting you off. Purple Daily Ugly Christmas sweaters.
Oh, buddy.
ScoreNorth.com/shop. Get them because they'll be coming off the store in a few weeks because we need to make sure you get them for Christmas.
Can you send me one, Ross?
Yeah, why can't we?
I can for some American dollars.
It's not very nice.
You kidding me? Do you guys know what I had to do behind the scenes just to get this one?
I don't want to know. I don't think anybody.
Yeah,
right. We would like to know what happened.
Oh, let me tell you guys a story off air when we're done. I got a story for you guys off air.
All right, that's gonna do it. Put
in the comments what you guys think that story is, guys.
Yeah, we'd love to hear it. Thanks to you. We're grateful for all of you for checking us out. Thanks to everybody who checks out Purple Daily and all of our other Score North content. We will see you next week. Go Vikings.
Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, especially those in Hennepin County.